Hi friends, it's Becky, and I have a purchase that I was going to open and add some of the bits in it to my Softflex All That Glitters kit. That's the Softflex Design kit that we opened up at the end of December and are making with for the month of January. But I had a personal challenge to myself to make something, a design on the fly with every box that I open, whether it's a bead box, whether it's a friend mail, whether it's a purchase that I made, whether it's a design kit, every one that I open this month, I need to do a design on the fly with. So I got my purchase from Softflex. I purchased it last week. I got my Galentine's jewelry making party kit. This is the supply kit with a bunch of Softflex wires and some findings and things like that. The bead kit is from Jesse James Beads, and they have not shipped those yet. So I don't have that, but I'm setting that aside for next month so that I can play along and design along with some of my favorite designers who are going to be doing those. I'm not a designer in there, but I will be a participant and attending the Galentine's Day making pro. So this is the rest of my purchase from Softflex. I got some bead strands. This is from the previous one. This is the Christmas sweater bead strand from Jesse James Beads that they had on Softflex. It was on sale, and I love these red colors with the silver and the sparkly. I just love this bead strand, and they had extras, so I was like, all right, it's on sale, I'm gonna grab it. And then I also grabbed the Star-Crossed Lovers bead strand, and I'm going to hang on to that for when I open up my Star-Crossed Lovers design kit. That's the one that is currently on sale at Softflex. That will open up at the end of the month. And this was the Star-Crossed Lovers, like they had a separate like mystery bead bag or bead collection to go with Star-Crossed Lovers that was on the site. I don't know if it's still available or not, but I'm gonna hang on to this and open it when I open up my Star-Crossed Lovers kit. So that's gonna get set aside for later, both the strand and that. And then I also grabbed a second Midwinter Market kit. This is for TGBE, it's the Great Bead Extravaganza. It's one of the things that Softflex does with other bead companies is every quarter they do like a midwinter market, or they'll have a spring something or other, I can't remember, but it's basically like a little bead show where they have a bunch of presenters during the weekend. They'll have each different bead shop will have a presenter presenting a kit or doing a tutorial or something like that. And this was the Softflex one. They had this Arctic Circle kit, and there was a separate bead mix to go with it, and I already had one, but I ordered a second one, and I haven't opened this yet. So I think I'm going to open this probably tomorrow, and we'll do a design then when I open it up. But so there we go. So I've got both of those bead mixes, and I've got the kit. If you want to see what's in the kit, though, they did open it up on the Softflex presentation for TGBE. It is on the Softflex company's YouTube channel. It's also on the TGBE YouTube channel, but that's going on this weekend. So today was Saturday. There were a whole bunch of presenters. It was really fantastic. I'm not getting around to beading until later because I was busy watching that stuff and also doing stuff around the house. So this was the stuff that I added that I want to add to my All That Glitters kit. It was an additional one of these crystal mixes that they had with All That Glitters. It has 3 different colors of these crystal rondelles, 2 of these like hematite color. They're not actually hematite beads, they just have that sort of hematite-y finish, I should say, for these crystal hearts. And so I was gonna grab this and add it to my kit and do a design with these. And also these were in the what is it called? These melon drops were in the clearance section on Softflex, and they are just so pretty, especially with these colors like the silver and the gold and this like travertine with a silver wash. Isn't that pretty? So I thought I would use some of these in a design today too. So I'm definitely going to use the melon drops, I'm going to use the crystals, and I'm going to use some of the things from this All That Glitters kit for a design on the fly. So let me see what else I've got in here. I think I might want to do maybe like some sort of bracelet design, maybe a necklace too. Let's see, I've still got this pendant. There's a hole in here, right? Oh, yes, there it is. Okay. So I've got this crystal pendant with that silver finish. I've got the dichroic glass beads. I've got these crystals as well. I think, honestly, I could probably, are these are connectors or are they other drops? All right. I think I could very happily used most of my gold ones in my little gold finger, most of these gold rondelles, in a gold flavored design, and I did that one earlier on New Year's Eve. It was really fun. I'll put a link in the description to that design if you would like to see it. I think I'm going to head towards the silver end of the spectrum for this design because I've got all of these out. I'm going to put these guys away, and then let's get oh no, that's too big for that, but I think these will fit nicely in these bead frames. Yes, they will. Those will fit inside the bead frames. And yep. Okay. All right, let's figure out what we're gonna do with these. I might grab these 11-Os. These are just from my stash. I actually used these in the other design too, but I used the gold ones. I will probably use some of the silver 11-Os in here for this design. Oh, I should have grabbed some wire. Some of those, we're going to take that. These, what if I did that there? What if this was a, okay, I'm going to use these on a bracelet. Okay. I'm going to set these aside for now, but I might use this. These ones or this one? I think I might use these for like a two a mixed metals design. I think I'm going to use these silver ones for this design. Yep, that is what I'm going to do. Go. Okay. All right. Let's make these also fit. Do they actually fit though? I think they do. Or let's save these for earrings. Yeah, that's a good idea. A couple of those. All right, I'm gonna do earrings with these two. We're gonna do a whole set. Okay, friends, just gonna do a whole set. These footballs. You know what I think I want to do is grab a little bit more of that. Actually, let's do another one of these. Yes, ma'ams and ma'ams and everyone watching. I have figured out how to do this. Okay, so I think that's gonna work pretty well. Let's make a little let's get a wires. Actually, maybe I just want to see if two passes of the medium wire. Yep, 2 passes of medium wire will go through that. So what I need is enough beading wire to go. All right, that's gonna have to be enough. I'm gonna start from the middle. Of this pendant. Where's my hole? There it is. Start right here in the middle of this wire. I hope that that's going to be long enough. It should be. Right, the middle of the wire. I'm going to load on how many of these do I need to be able to bring it up in a curve. Let's put 5 on each side and see where we meet in the middle on that of the 11 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one side. Drop down. I think I'm going to need 2 or 3 more, so that'll be 5, 6, 6. Where? Come on. 1106, 7, 8. Like that. Yes, that's going to be perfect. All right, so, whoop, that's not quite in the middle anymore. That's much shorter than the other. Let's even that out just a little bit. Okay. I'm pinching the wire here between my fingers to make sure that it doesn't scooch over any more than it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I am using the medium white quartz beading wire. It's Softflex beading wire that came in the kit for this. I think if you were to use this with a different beading wire, it probably would still work. But you might want to use a 49 strand beading wire for it to give you that flexibility that you get with the Softflex. All right. All right. Now I'm going to take both of these wires and at the same time I'm going to put them through this heart bead and then one of these melon drops. In the melon drop I'm going to have the narrower end down towards the pendant and the fat bottom up towards the necklace, like that. Alright, and then I'm going to pick up 2 11-ohs on each strand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scooch those all the way down to the bottom, like that. Now we're going to separate out and start adding these beads on each side. And I think I'm going to just keep using these 11-ohs as spacers in between each of these beads that I've laid out, just because they look nice in between them. And I'm also just going to leave this there like that and just keep stringing on with these spacers. Alright, so I've got one of these wavy bead cages. And I'm going to slide this dichroic glass bead in there. And there is space in there, I think, for an 11-0, but it's just going to be tricky, so I don't feel like messing around with putting an 11-0 in there somehow. I'm trying to get this wire over to the hole. It's like the hole is over there and the wire is going this way. So I think what I have to do is pull the wire out, put it through. There we go. Now you can kind of straighten it out. There we go. To get that on there. Phew. That was harder than it should have been. All right. And I still have these melons, and I'm still pointing the pointy end down and the fat bottom up instead of the other way around, just because I kind of like the way it looks. It goes down that way like an icicle does. I feel like it fits better with like a frosty sort of theme, to have it pointing down that way. I like this. This is pretty cool. But yeah, so I have been busy watching people doing beading other things and, you know, putting in orders for kits. That bead place kit, that looks fantastic. I definitely ordered one of those. Nile's got coupons that are available for his shop at Silver Silk. They've got coupons going on at thebeadshop.com, at Softflex, of course. So TGB weekend is really fun. There's usually a lot of fun things, like they do a trend report where they talk about what jewelry trends are coming up. It's just a fun beady time. Alright, so I'm just going to put a wire or a bead stopper on the end of this wire and start stringing the other end, and then we'll see at that point if it's long enough or if I need to continue along a little ways. I can definitely do that with some of these other beads, and these, I have enough beads for all of that, especially since I got the extras. These are all the extras from the kit. I still have some in my, from that bead mix, the extra bead mix that I, so let's, oh, nope, this is how we're doing it. Because I've already got those two down there. I've got this one. Alright. See how adding those silver spacers, you can't even see them that far away, but they add just a little bit of gleam between the beads. Okay, and let's do this one the same way that I did this one. We want the fat bottom at the bottom. We're going to go through here and then get the bead on. And because it's a little bit funky, that's okay. There we go. Get that on there like that. This is fun. I've been really enjoying my little challenge, although it does mean that because a lot of my creative energies are being spent on these on-the-fly designs, I haven't been doing as many planned designs. So I don't know, maybe there's a way to balance this so that I have some designs that I can plan and other designs I can do on the fly. Because I've been enjoying it so much, I think I want to keep at least some of the boxes and things that I get. I want to do at least maybe 4 of them with a on-the-fly, spur of the moment design, because it is such a fun way to like flex your creative muscles, to take a look at some beads and be like, how am I going to put those together? And then figure it out. I love this right there underneath that little sparkly heart, or shiny heart I should say. It's so much fun. But I get a lot out of doing little challenges, even if they're just personal challenges to myself. Say, hey, for this month, try doing this. This is the first time I've done this challenge. I'm going to check the length, see how I like it. Well, it does need to be a bit longer than that. So let's just keep going with these. And these up each side. Most of the fancy beads will be there in the front. I thought about grabbing some silver silk and doing the back end of it with that, but because I watched Neely's presentation today and I just love silver silk so much. It was so much fun to play around with, and it's been a little while since I've done a good design with silver silk, so I think we're going to do some more of those. Oh, hey, you know what I did? I forgot to put a seed bead between that bead and that bead. Alright, let's grab one. Alright. That was silly. I love the AB finish on these crystal beads. They are so pretty. Alright, I think that is going to be enough length on that side. That's 3 of each of those. Let's put this on that side. Get this strung on that end. And then we will do a clasp. There we go. Oh, I've already got a seed bead on here. And I'm just gonna use my crimp tubes, 2x2 crimp tubes for this, to crimp a lobster clasp on here. I'll go grab that in a minute. Okay, I'm just going to double check. Nope, I'm going to add just a little bit more length. Just a little bit more on each side. How fun is this? There we go. Yeah, and I don't think that I could do it any longer than this because I will run out of wire for crimping, and that's perfect. That is perfect, the perfect length. All right, friends, let's move some of these beads out of the way. And let's do some crimping. I'm just gonna, while I'm crimping one end of it, I don't want it to accidentally have all of my stuff get undone. I think this box came with the gold crimps, which are usually fantastic, and I love that. But I want to use some silver crimps, so let me locate those real quick. Oh, my friends tell me why I can never keep an eye on my crimp tubes. There they are. Maybe I need to get some of those Beading crimp tubes and make use of the crimp tube holders that my friend Amy sent me. I have 2 seed beads right there in a row. And I don't need 2 of them, I just need 1 of them. Alright. Because then I would always know where my crimps were. I just need the tubes, that's all. I've already got the crimps. And so I'm going to be using my magical crimper for doing the crimping. It works best on 0.018 and 0.019 wire, which the medium wire is. And it only works with 2x2 crimp tubes. But it is such a great way of crimping that, like, I rarely ever use different crimps because you don't need a crimp cover. It just makes a nice smooth round little ball of crimp that almost looks like one of these seed beads. So I'm going to put my wire on there, bend it back around so that it comes through. And I'm just doing a loop on this end, and that loop will be what my lobster clasp hooks onto. On this side, I'm just going to do a little bit of a longer loop. And so what I want to do is get this crimp centered into this divot on my crimper. I want to make sure it's centered, make sure that there's some room between this seed bead and the edge of my crimp so that I am not crimping onto the seed bead or breaking the seed bead. And then you just do a little, hold on, there we go. That's how we do it. You just do a little smush, and it doesn't have to be a huge smush. You're just smushing down the corners of the crimp to turn it into a little ravioli. And then you flip it to another angle. like a 90-degree angle, and then you keep going around at different angles and you just do little smushes. Until all of those edges have been rounded out. It gives you a strong little crimp. It is very inconspicuous. And see, it just blends right in. You don't need crimp covers. All right. The reason I don't use wire guardians with this wire is because it is very durable wire. It's bendable, so making a loop like that isn't going to crimp the wire like with like 7-strand wires wouldn't be able to handle that. All right, and there we go. And you also don't have a lot of wear on this wire from other findings like this, so I can just go through the loop in there without having to add a whole other piece of metal and a whole other finding to my project. I'm just using my fingernail to make sure that I've got space in between my crimp and that seed bead for when I go in. Do my crimp, rotate it, do a little more crimping. All right. So this was a necklace using some of the beads that I just got in my order and some of the beads from the All That Glitters Softflex Design kit, especially this pendant and some of these like that. All right, and then I just added some seed beads. That's very pretty. I like that a lot. All right, let's pull out these other crystal beads and these guys, because I think I want to do a bracelet using these snowflake beads and these heart beads. And these guys. Let's see. That's 1, 2. Oh, there we go. That's where you go. So I'll lay these out. How much space? 1, 2, 3, or maybe the other way around. 1, 2, 3. All right. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just making sure I have enough for this design before I get started, because I hate it when I'm like, oh, I have enough beads for this, then I get to the end and oh no, I don't actually. Right. And yes, I do actually. So I got one of those, one of those. Alright, I know how this is going to go. And so I'm going to grab another lobster clasp and pull off some wire. Because I'm going to be working with 2 strands at once for this. So I'm going to want enough wire to go around my wrist 3 times for this. 1, 2, 3, plus some extra for crimping. And I say 3 because even though it's 2 strands of wire, they're going to be crisscrossing together. They're going to be weaving in and out. So we need that extra wire for that kind of play. So I've got both of my ends together. I'm going to drop my lobster clasp right down into the center. And then put both ends of this wire going in the same direction through one of these silver crystal beads. Bring it down there. And then I'm going to put one of the AB crystal beads on each of these wires. So 1 crystal bead, and then on the other one, 1 crystal bead. We're going to put those all the way down there. Boom. That. And then each of these wires will go through this square bead in opposite directions. We're going to crisscross applesauce right through here. And I am perfectly okay with this wire showing. It's one of the reasons I like beading with colored wires, because then the wire becomes part of the design. Alright, and I'm going to put a crystal bead, a silver bead, and a crystal bead on each of my wires. And then I'm going to go through my snowflake bead in opposite directions with each wire. I'm going to crisscross through that one. Straighten things out a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have clear crystal, silver crystal, and clear crystal. I'm just going to call it crystal, silver, crystal. How about that? on each strand. This is one of my favorite ways to really highlight a special bead, is to have it right there in the center of this type of design. And now I'm going through the hearts in opposite directions. Kind of the same way I've got it laid out, that's how I'm going to be stringing them on. And crystal, silver crystal on each side. I suppose I could use some of this 11-Os as spacers with this, but I really don't think I need to. It might make, the 11-O spacers might make it feel a little less crowded actually. It is kind of feeling a little bit crowded on here. So I'm going to start over-ish with some of these 11-Os. Again, I'm just using the silver ones, not the gold. So let's do that. This is the not so fun part about designing on the fly, is when a project isn't, or when something that you had in your head isn't working, sort of starting over or doing it differently the second time so that it works better the next time. And fortunately, I wasn't very far into this when I made that decision. I will probably increase the time that I'm spending on it, but that's okay, because we can just hang out, right? We're just hanging out. We're being bead buddies. You can have your project and I can have mine. Alright, so I still left that one silver bead on there, but now I'm adding an 11-O between each of these beads. So 11-O, crystal 11-O. Come on, friend. And an 11-O, crystal 11-O on this end. Yeah, I think I'm going to feel a little bit better about this if I do it that way. And then we're going to go through in opposite directions with both of the wires for this square. Sorry, cube. And the beads aren't there to hide the wire. They're just there to kind of add a little bit more to what we're doing. Right. So in between each of these rondelles, I'm going to be putting another 11-O. And we do it on each end of the wire, or each side of the bracelet. Then once we've got those on there, can go through the snowflake in opposite directions. That way and that way. Now this works best on beads that have larger holes. Sometimes when you try to do this, you'll find that the wire might be too thick. If you're using medium wire, like I am here, oh yes, that gives me a much nicer curve. I like that curve a lot more. Yep. All right. Boom. Go. And then the other side. And the hearts. This is a lot of fun, actually. I am enjoying making this. Now, I do have extras of these beads than you would have gotten in just the kit, because I got that extra bead mix, and also extras of the heart beads. So it's just something to keep in mind if you were trying to make along at home. You might not have as many beads as I do if you didn't get that extra. If you got that extra kit, then you have what you need to be able to make this. I'm loving it. It's so pretty and shiny and sparkly. How pretty is this? Sometimes when I'm making things, I'll be like, oh, I really love this, or I'll be like, oh, I haven't done this design or this type of bracelet in a while. And I was like, I really love doing this. These are crisscross applesauce bracelets. And I thought to myself, didn't you do one of those bracelet bashes where I do like the same design but with different beads? And I haven't done one really for these, unless you count the one where I was making, you know, the full sets last year, and I made 4 bracelets using this type of method, but just different variations of them. And I was doing it for that with some beadbox bargains and bargain beadbox things. Okay, so now do I want my hearts to all face the same way, or do I want them to be opposite? You know what? I think I'm going to do it in one heart pointing with the point that way, one heart pointing this way, and one heart pointing that way. Because when you're wearing a bracelet, and you've got hearts or something on it, and you want the hearts pointing one way or another way. Is it going to be pointing towards the person who's looking at you, or is it going to be pointing towards yourself? And so I think I want a heart pointing towards both me and the person that I am in front of when I'm wearing this bracelet. So the hearts are going to point in both directions. Yes, that's how we're doing it. Alright. Let's do some more. But yeah, so I haven't actually done like a bracelet bash with this, but I did do one with several of the same type and style, but they were all just parts of a full set. I had broken it out into the necklaces, and then I did the bracelets, and then I did the earrings and rings in a separate video. I'll link to that one in the description below if you want to see it, or if you're curious about it. And let me know if I should do a separate video with like all of the different bead boxes that I get, doing this type or style of bracelet where it's the crisscross applesauce sort of thing, because I really do love this, like a lot. I did a video with this style, but with stretch bracelets about a year and a half ago. Was it a year and a half ago? I don't know. It was a while ago. I'll link to that one too if you want to see a stretch bracelet variety. I think actually Lauren from Bargain Bead Box did a video recently, just stretch bracelets of the same type. I don't know if it was Lauren that did it or somebody else, but it was on their channel that they did one. But I'll link to mine because I like it when you guys watch my videos. Makes me really happy. Like, I love shouting you out and sending you to my friends too, but I also like it when you guys watch my videos. I think one of the big differences maybe between mine and the one that Lauren did is that I did a charm on the ones that I made with y'all. It's just where the knot is, that's all. This is so sparkly, you guys. Look how it sparkles. I am just so happy. Sparkles make me happy, y'all. They just do. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if it's like something that everyone else gets or if it's just me. But I know, like, there are animals that love sparkles too, like corvids. They're like, ooh, shiny. Alright, here we go. See, I don't have to worry about if it's facing up or down for the snowflakes, but I do for the hearts, and so I want this one to go that way. So I've got two pointing in one direction, one pointing the other. This will be lovely. Lovely. Quite. Just checking my... Okay. Oh, you know what I've got right here? Got this bracelet sizer. Yeah. That's about right. Yep, I am going to be able to get this to be the right size. I like it when my guesstimating of sizing and how much wire I need and all that stuff. I like it when that works out. That makes me really happy. It makes me feel real good about myself when my estimating of how much wire I'm going to need is correct. Especially when I do it on camera. and I don't have to like take everything apart and like start recording it again. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just leave my mistakes in. And whoop, I know some of y'all really do appreciate when I do that, because it helps if you can see that, you know what, sometimes even those of us who are doing channels and tutorials, even we mess up sometimes. And I mess up a lot sometimes. If you've been around, you've seen me do that. I don't know. I always learn better when I mess up. And figure out a way to do it better next time. Alright, one more of these. Go in opposite directions. And this will stretch, you can see that. Just a little bit. Let's see where we're at. I've got my last cube here as well. So the cube will go there, and then we'll have a little bit more. That, I think, is going to be just about the right amount of space for that. Look at that, my friends. Perfect. Alright, let's get some more of these seed beads out here. There you go. Alright, and now we're going to go through the square in opposite directions. Then I'm going to get smaller as we get towards both of these going together. Yep. And then this one, this end. And I'm just going to be mirroring or bookending this end to match this end down here. So I want that next seed bead, and then I want both of these to go through here, like so. And at this point, just going to work it out and make sure that we are all tightened up, because I am going to do a crimp right here at the end of this and cut off one of these strands, and then the other strand will be for the rest of it, doing a little, I think I'm going to make a little dangle with this and have it dangle on the end of this loop over here. So I'm going to be using 2 crimp beads for closing and finishing this off. I'm going to have that crimp bead be right here on the other side of this guy, because it's going to look almost the same as these seed beads. And that'd be right there. So let's get this crimped. I centered the crimp before I slid it down next to the bead. All right, so there we are. Now I'm going to take one of these and snip it off right here. And where is my mandrel? Because I want to double check the size. Because we're doing that. 2025, we're double checking our size. Okay. Now there's some space between that loop and the other, so I am going to put this guy on there, and then one of these, and maybe this. Let's see if that's adding enough length. Okay, that's actually probably more than enough. What might just be... Oh yeah, that's more than enough, so let's just end it right there. Just have that there. And now I can make a loop, pass it back through here. Let's do a snip snip here. See those crimps? They look just like the seed beads in there. And I wanted to do the little dangle for this because I like having a dangle on my bracelets. It helps me get them on easier. So let me grab some craft wire. Get a 22 gauge. That'll work. Because I'm going to use this little crystal here and make myself a dangle with this 22 gauge craft wire. Right. That's about 3, maybe 4 inches actually. Yep, that's about 4 inches. And I am going to put this end through this hole on the end of this guy right here, this little lentil. About, let's go 2 inches down. I'm going to bend it up. And I am going to wrap this short end around the long end just a couple of times. There we go, like that. Give the excess wire there a little snip. And then I'm going to add this right on top. And now we're going to make a dangle and I want to do a wrapped loop for my dangle. So I'm going to just put my round nose pliers against that to bend it back, and then push this forward around my round nose pliers. And I need this lower jaw to get out of the way, so I'm going to open it and rotate it and bring this around like that. And before I wrap my loop, I'm going to just attach this see, I've got my little loop there. So I'm going to attach it right here to this. Just going to pop that right on there. And then I'm going to hold on to this loop and bring this around a couple of times like that. Now I've got a little dangle, a little sparkly dangle on my bracelet. And this is why I like to use them, is because it really helps with putting them on. If I hold on to the dangle like that, then when I bring it around here, and this is the opposite way. Whoop. Sorry, friends. Can't see what I'm doing. Why do I insist on trying it the way that doesn't work the first time? Here we go. Bring it around this way, actually, is much easier for me to do. Around the front of the wrist first. And then open up that lobster clasp. And now I've got my bracelet on. See, and now I've got a little dangle too. Just dangling. There we go, and now I've got 2 hearts pointing away from me and 1 heart pointing towards me. Let's get these to lay flat. There we go. That's a nice bracelet to go with my necklace. And let's make some earrings real quick. I'm not done yet. Are you done yet? I'm not done yet. Right. I'm using these cylinder beads, these cylinder crystal beads, as well as these. And I'm just going to grab a couple of head pins for these. We're going to make it really easy. Quick and easy. Actually, maybe, yeah, let's grab a couple of these. And a couple more of these. Like that. So head pin is going to go in. And then, oh, I need to adjust this so that the hole will match up. The hole in the bead will match up with the hole there. These aren't fitting as nicely as I wanted them to in here. So it's entirely possible that I'm not going to get to use these, or need a wire that's a little more flexible for this. Yeah, I just need a wire that's a little more flexible. Let's use some of this. Some of this wire and some crimps. Using this white quartz wire again. I just need flexible wire, that's all, instead of a head pin. And I'm going to kind of turn it into a head pin a little bit by using these little crystal dangles like I did with this, except instead of the beading wire, or the craft wire, I'm going to use the beading wire for this. So let's go in here, just like that. I'm going to attach beading wire right onto the end of this wire. That's not going to be long enough. This is just my excess wire. I need something a little bit longer than that. So how about 4 inches? Yeah, I'm just going to make a little loop with the wire right there, like that. And crimp it. No, not that way. There we go. And then one of these right there. And snip that extra wire down. And put one of these guys on here. Bloop. And now I can put this through here. Add this barrel bead. And put it through this other end because this is more flexible. It may actually work, maybe. Hold on. There you go. Alright, now let's add one of these, another one of these, and make ourselves a little loop with the crimp. This loop is what I'm going to put an ear wire through. Oh my goodness, how fun is this? Alright, I'm gonna do the second one while I have you. And then make some ear wires, and then I think that's gonna be done. Oh, that's not long enough. It's long enough for other types of earring designs. I always save my little extra bits of Softflex because you can use them to, especially if you're doing like illusion necklaces, you can use them to stuff into your crimp to give you a little extra stuffing in it. Okay. Yes. Wait. Actually, that is long enough. What am I thinking? I don't know what I'm thinking. I am thinking I need 2 more crimps. That's, yeah. Alright, let's get this down here. Oh no. Is this hole plugged up? On this bead frame? Well, I may not be able to do that second one with y'all. This bead frame is all plugged up. Don't have a bead reamer. Not handy. And the wire that I'm sticking in isn't clearing that out. So it looks like I have a bead frame I can't use. That's fine. I can clear it out later. At another time. In the meantime, I'll just make some ear wires to use with this. I'm going to grab my 22 gauge wire and a bail making pliers. I'm going to cut a couple of like 3.5 inch lengths of my 22 gauge wire. I like to use 22 gauge wire and not 20 gauge wire because when I do make handmade ear wires out of 20 gauge wire, it hurts my ears. My ear holes are just not large enough. And I know if I wore them, they'd become large enough, but I don't want to stretch my ears out. It's weird, right? I'm going to use this smallest loop on my bail making pliers just to make a loop like that. It's not a centered loop. It's like a P shape or 9 shape or a Q if it's facing the other way. Loop. And then I'm going to put both of these wires together with both of those facing the same way. And then the second largest loop, I'm going to wrap around that. But I want the loop facing away from where I'm going to wrap around it, like that. And then I'm going to push these around, pull them off. And where are my chain nose pliers? Here are some of them. Give them a little bit of a bend right here. And use my flush cutters to snip them off. And then you can work harden these by using some hammer and it's weird, a hammer and a bench block, or you can just give it a good squish with some pliers that are nice and flat, and that way it won't, you know, unbend on you. I like to work harden them before I file the ends. You can use a burr cup if you have one. If not, I would suggest getting a set of these metal files. And then you can just file the ends and then check to make sure that there are no rough edges. I'm filing gently. You do not need to make them smaller, just take off the rough bits. So when it feels smooth all the way around from each direction, then it's ready to be used as an earring. But yeah, if I can get this bead cage cleared, I will make my second earring. Otherwise, this is the one that I've got tonight. I'm not going to work on clearing it on camera because this would just be like an unbearably long video, and it's already about an hour and a half long. But we've got this, we've got my bracelet, we've got this fantastic necklace. There you go. And that is from the Softflex All That Glitters design kit, and the extra bead mix that I got to go with it, as well as adding these melon beads, these melon drops that they had in their clearance section. I'll put a link to Softflex website in the description below. You can check them out. The Softflex design kits are not subscriptions. They just release a new one every month. The really popular ones will sometimes sell out before the end of the month. So if you are really wanting to get one, and it's within your budget, it's a good idea to get them when they have them. And they do have a coupon code right now, so you will get a few dollars off of your purchase over a certain amount. So hope you guys are having a fantastic week, and I will talk with you later. Happy beading!